Hello everyone and welcome back to the last X and Y daily. I know guys, the game's coming out tomorrow, I'm streaming tonight, everything's happening. Let's talk about the fucking final evolutions of the starters, shall we? Let me give you my opinions, my humble opinions they may be, but I believe that they are necessary to be spouted, and so I shall. So we have Chesnaught. This is Chesnaught. He is obviously the final evolution of the Chespin line, going Chespin, Quilladin, and Chesnaught. And I'd just like to point out real quick that back in, I believe, maybe the mechanic change video, or maybe it was the fairy type video, or no, it was in the Frogadier. It was in the Frogadier video when Nick pointed out that he believed that the final evolutionary forms would be, the final evolution of Chespin would be a fighting type, part fighting type, and that it would be like a knight, and that, you know, the Braixen would turn into a thing which was like a witch, and Froakie or Frogadier would turn into a thing which was like a ninja. And on the last one he nailed it because fucking the final name is Greninja, for God's sake. But we'll get to him. Let's first talk about this guy who is a armored fucking tank. And look, I know the internet is a fickle place and there are people who don't like these designs. I'm here to tell you, fuck all y'all! This thing's a fucking badass, holy shit! If I was not locked in to choosing the water starter, I'd probably still choose Froakie, to be perfectly honest, just because I think Greninja's my favorite, but Chesnaught's great! I really like this design, I love it so much, and I think that there has been a somewhat overreaction, honestly. He just says, fuck it, look at him! He literally could morph ball. Look at his form. He could morph ball, become a spiked fucking morph ball. He would be a more dangerous bounty hunter than Samus could ever hope, I say. Plus he has like a neck beard thing, which is kind of like going down his entire front. Look, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan, and I'm cooling everyone in the room. That's how powerful of a fan I am. I have the power to cool people off. Nevertheless, let us talk about the mechanics, shall we? Because Chesnaught has, of course, got some interesting things going on. The main thing, of course, is the secondary typing grass fighting. Now, let's talk about how these Pokemon will interact with each other, the starters there are. So, the interesting thing about this is that they're not going to be basically like people thought. This guy would be grass dark initially, so then it would be like grass is super effective on water, but dark is not very effective on fighting, because people thought that Froakie's final evolution was going to be fighting, so they thought there would be like one of the types will be super effective on one thing, but it won't be super effective on the secondary type of the other thing. It'll be not very effective. What they've actually done is they've basically turned it into a double threat, where grass is super effective on water and fighting is super effective on dark. So Greninja gets fucked by Chesnaught, and then Greninja goes on to severely destroy Delphox, and Delphox utterly carnerizes, I don't know, it's a word, I made it up, Chesnaught, because of the fire and the psychic. It's pretty cool, I think, and it makes, like, the rival battles probably going to be a lot harder because of that fact. Just because of the fact that you are going up against something that has two super effective things on you, which is going to be tough to deal with. But, I think typing-wise, grass fighting's awesome. Guys, Breloom. You know Breloom. He's pretty fucking great, let's be honest. I know that he's very much aided by his ability, his multiple abilities, both of which are fantastic. But grass fighting is a good type, solid type, nice offensive, and definitely physically based. And that is what this guy is. He's physically based. He has the potential base stats. I'm saying these kind of potential because they haven't been 100% confirmed yet. He has 90 HP, which is definitely solid, it's good bulk, and to round that out, he has 120 defense and 70 special defense, so it can take hits. This man is a physical tank. He has base 100 attack, which is solid, definitely not like super over the top, but he is definitely a prime physical tank. I think he may land somewhere in the UU range. Doesn't seem like his stats make him all that powerful from what we currently know, but definitely looking like a solid guy to have around on your team. Also, added bonus, he's got base 70 speed, which is pretty quick considering that this guy is more oriented towards the defensive end. You definitely benefit from that in many situations. So 70 is not too bad, actually. It's doing pretty well for itself. The ability is very obvious. Overgrow is something that every single grass starter gets. I'm very interested to find out if it has a secondary ability, if the Dreamworld abilities are back, or whatever, if it will get one. That is potentially really interesting. But for now, we have Overgrow, which is standard. And I'm looking forward to using this guy online. Certainly, definitely competitive. I will run a set. I might run like Sub Focus Punch. That's a cool. And Breloom runs it. Sub Punch in Chesnaught. Heard it here first. I'll be using it. Definitely. So, I think we've covered Chesnaught pretty broadly. We've talked a lot. So, let's move on to the next final evolution. A Delphox. Well, apparently she sets fire to the rain if the rain is the rambling, angry masses of the internet. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. It's not the best design, sure, but I think it's pretty fucking elegant. Look at that hair protruding from the ears. It has gone fucking wild. Got that dress which fits in with a sorceress. The tail is enlarged. It's just looking pretty good. I admit maybe this picture, this drawing by Zeus from DeviantArt shows it in a better light than perhaps the original art or the official art from the Pokemon Company. Although the official art was actually released yesterday or today in the Korokoro scans, and it looks pretty cool as well. So, I don't know what people are hating on. I think they're probably hating a bit more on the 3D sprite, not sprite, the polygonal model within the game, which I guess is kind of fair, because it looks a little bit worse. But I like it, man. You know, it's not my favorite. It is my least favorite of the three, but I wouldn't call it a travesty. It's pretty fucking elegant in my mind, and I am a big fan of it. So, I guess I continue my spraying of the wind being a fan. What am I saying? I don't fucking know. Yeah, so it's cool. I like it. It fits the theme of being a sorceress, a witch with a long dress, and it does have access to the wooden twig for the wand. I like what I see, and I am now going to talk about the competitiveness of it. How about that? So, at the time of recording, Delphox's potential base stats are a little more up in the air. They are more in terms of a range of what it could potentially be, but it's a small range, and so we can kind of speculate about that. First of all, let's talk about its typing, because this was long foreseen in the smokes and the clouds. Everyone knew it was going to happen, guys. Very obviously, Fire Psychic. We were shown pretty early on that Fennekin had access to a Psychic move, and then Braixen had access to like 2 or 3, and if it wasn't going to be Psychic, then people may have well flipped the proverbial table. If Punch Dog was in fact a thing, I think more people would have flipped more tables. Thankfully, not the case, and Delphox does exist. A really cool kind of typing we got going on. My man Victini, or should I say my girl I don't know, Victini does seem more, it does straddle that line. It's probably more feminine, honestly. Yeah, so Victini obviously has this typing, and I love Victini. Victini is great, so give me more Fire Psychic, man. I'm all for it. Definitely down with that. Blaze, obvious ability, I think maybe... if we get Flash Fire, that could be cool, maybe potentially, or, I don't know, give it Dry Skin, and then it won't be affected by water. How about them apples? No? Okay, maybe not. That makes no sense, actually. So, just thinking a bit too highly. But let's look at the base stats. These are, as I said, a bit more jumbled. We've got an HP of around 75 to 80, an attack of 75 to 79, a defense of 70 to 80. So far, looking like pretty low, but when we get into the special stats and the speed, it is excelling. 110 to 115 potential attack, 95 to 100 spec D, and 105 to 110 speed, which is a pretty sweet spot, I would say. Definitely more offensive, doesn't have as much bulk in HP end of things as Chesnaught does, but it has nice special defense, and it can honestly pretty much take hits well enough with that. Ninetales, I think, has similar-ish stats in terms of HP and special defense, so it could contend there. Ninetales does take hits pretty well, and there is obviously that comparison of them being Firefoxes, so that's cool. It is definitely going to dominate in the special field, though, and the speed of 110, if it turns out to be 110 as opposed to 105, is definitely going to help it. Last gen, 108 was the main speed to beat, and so being 110 certainly puts you a peg above most of the main Pokemon used in OU at least. And I think that would be really nice if it did hit that speed. I would like it to. Obviously, I'm actually not sure whether this has changed yet, whether people have specified if that is actually going to be 110 or what. But you can have a look at the leaks. We'll find out soon. Cerebi are doing their utmost smoke on it, going hard. It is all in motion, people, and things are heating up. Literally, it's a fucking Delphox. What do you expect? A non-barbecue? There's barbecues everywhere. Set fire to the rain. And yeah, I'm done. Right, let's move on. I think I've talked enough about Delphox. Greninja, my friends. Greninja. So we come, ladies and gentlemen, to the cream of the crop. Hashtag Team fucking Froakie. It is Greninja, the ninja agile tongue scarf frog of doom. Oh my god, I have not been happier to have always been a water starter chooser person for a while. I honestly think that I've been screwed. Last generation Samurott I didn't feel was great. Empoleon was mess. Swampert was the last time I felt like truly, you know, right with my water starter choice was for Alligator. And now Game Freak have just made things incredible. This guy is so cool. I love him. I'm so happy. He's a tongue scarf. He's like the most agile, quick ninja frog out there. And definitely the coolest frog Pokemon, I think, in my honest opinion. So in case you didn't know, I choose the water starter every generation. I always have done and I always will do. So I have no choice in the matter. It's just a thing that I do, and it just, I go with it. That's what I do. And I have been rewarded for my patience and my loyalty this generation, because Greninja is just a beast. I can't think of any more superlatives. They do not exist. They are not within the realm of the vocabulary which I possess. So, let's just say he looks good and move on to the mechanics. Alright, okay, you get it. Now, it's all well and good Greninja looking fantastic, but what if he doesn't play well? What if he's crappy in the meta game? Then, he may not be so awesome. But there's the potential here. There is some potential. So first of all, let's talk about his typing. Water Dark fits in with the theme of being a ninja because he's crafty, he's agile, he's sly, he's in the shadows, looking for an opportunity to strike out with his lick-tonguing scarf, throttle someone, choke him out, and just move on. He's a bona fide killer. Dark typing is cool. I like it. I'm not sure how much it's going to help it. Of course, this generation, with the introduction of Fairy, Dark are in fact weak to Fairy, so unfortunately that's an extra weakness that it's gained this gen that it wouldn't have had before. A little bit annoying, but Dark also has, you know, some decent resistances too. It has the Ghost resistance, it has the Psychic immunity. There's some nice stuff going on with Dark, so it can potentially help Water somewhat. And I think it's a cool combination to roll with. I'm not sure. There must have been a Dark Water at some point. Oh, Sharpedo. Sharpedo's Dark Water. There's something else. I can't think right now, but I'm sure there are other things around. It's a cool type, especially on a starter. Nothing that we've seen before, so I'm glad for that. I'm glad that all these starters are nothing that we've really seen before, which is fantastic in terms of their typing and their dual typing. So, let's move on to the base stats. We'll skip over Torrent, because you all know what the fuck that does anyway. It's the same as Blaze and Overgrow. Potential base stats here. 80 in HP, so decent amount, not too shabby. 90 in physical attack, which is okay. 75 in defense and 75 in special defense. Looking like this guy is going to be the most frail out of the bunch. The 80 HP is nice, but it just doesn't help when the 75's in both. It's kind of middle of the road. It's not super frail, but it's not fantastic either. Where this guy really comes into his own is the special attack and speed. The speed is lightning. Utter lightning. 120. That is a massive, massive amount, and definitely going to help him a huge amount. The thing is, like, 5th gen metagame was so speed-based that being anywhere near as quick as that is such a benefit, and if this generation turns out to be pretty speed-based as well, Greninja has fantastic, fantastic chances ahead of him. Special attacking, definitely. He can take advantage of, you know, Dark Pulse, I guess, right now. I'm trying to think what other special Dark moves there are. nothing coming to mind. I don't think there really is much else. Obviously, Hydro Pump and stuff are going to be at his disposal. I'm guaranteeing that I will miss every Hydro Pump in history, as I always do. But there you go. Going to be, you know, not super powerful, unfortunately. 100 is okay. It's the same thing, basically, with Chesnaught, where Chesnaught is more defensive, but has decent attack with 100. This guy's much faster, but nowhere near enough special attack to compensate for the fact that it has lower defenses and lower HP. Which, I don't know, I guess you could run it mixed because 90 attack is respectable also. It's much more split in that way. So yeah, it could run both. It could be a mixed attacker and potentially do fantastic there. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. Torrent's going to be good. I'm hoping for some different abilities as per usual. But we're pretty much done with the starters. So let's, ladies and gentlemen, finish this thing off for once and all. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the X and Y dailies combined. Finished day 30. It's over. Oh my god, thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been a thing that I've really enjoyed doing. It has been very tough sometimes to try and get these videos out. Sometimes one may resort to doing a drunk video because there is no other option, but I mean, it happens. What, you can't blame me. If I'm gonna keep this thing consistent, I'm gonna do it hell and high water, and that's what I did for you guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this series. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on this video, just to show your appreciation for the entire series. If you did, if you enjoyed at least any of the videos, then that would be fantastic. And leave a comment and let me know what you thought of it as a whole. I'm going to be going forward and doing X and Y content. I'm going to be streaming tonight, probably going to start around 11, maybe half 10. I don't know when this video is going up, but I will upload a video saying that I'm streaming. I'm going to start from the very beginning. I haven't even opened my copy yet, but I'm starting from the beginning on stream, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So come join me, see what I do, and that'll be great. If you want to follow my other antics or see when the stream goes live a bit earlier, you can follow me on Twitter, because I always post there when I'm going to go stream. Same with Facebook. I do the exact same thing. Both of those are to your disposal. So go use them, go abuse them, and I am going to say thank you very much for watching the XY Daily. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.